It's Red Hunter, and welcome back to another part of Castile, the EU4, the teaching series with Castile. We have a new icon to talk about. As you can see, it says I just took Military Tech 5, and an important thing happens there. It says you get a thing that says Superior Unit Types. These units might be a better choice. Men-at-Arms is superior to Latin Medieval Infantry, which is our current infantry type. Okay, I'll click on this. I see Latin Medieval Infantry gets 35.35 and 0.65 shock. But I'm going to show you the outdated units just to illustrate what's better. So you'll notice that these units have pips. That's what they're called. They're called pips. So shock measures the amount of casualties a unit will inflict in the shock phase of the combat. The amount depends on part in the offensive shock value of the attacking units and the defensive shock value of the defensive units. So you'll see that there's no fire pips for these units, but that once we get to Tacalio Infantry, you start getting fire pips and shock pips, and there's always morale pips. And you see that'll be available at military level 12. The next unit upgrade will be at 9. So our current infantry has 0 fire pips, 0 shock pips, and 2 morale pips, or 1 officer shock pip and 1 morale pip. To save you a bunch of time, you don't need to count every level tech. All the possible units have the same amount of pips, and it's distributed differently. It all comes down to your personal playstyle. I'm not going to tell you that one is superior to another. But you can see it has 1 more pip than our current one. So we're going to not show outdated units. So here are our choices. We can go defensive shock. We can go offensive shock and 1 offensive morale and defensive morale. This matters for phases because there's a offensive phase, a defensive phase, offensive fire, defensive fire. It matters for when you're being attacked. When you're attacking, it's offensive. When you're on defense, it's defensive. So the decision you have to make when you do this is, do you plan to play defensively? Do you plan to be the one being attacked? Which should not have a negative connotation in your mind, because if someone attacks you and you win the war, you can still take provinces off them as the defender. You don't have to be the one that launched the war to take provinces. So do you want to attack? Do you want to defend? Or do you want to do a bit of both with the split pips? So, Galiki, these guys are pure offense. Offensive shock pick, to finish offensive morale. These are a mix. These longbows are offensive shock but an offensive and defensive pip. Men-at-Arms are defensive and then defensive and offensive pips and morale. So how do we want to play it? This, you're going to go pure offensive, mostly defensive, or a mix of both. And Men-at-Arms is the one that they sort of suggest. But we're going to take probably longbow, just because I think it's a safe mix of both. So now our units will upgrade. And what I'm going to do is move these guys to over here, because you do not want to be in combat while your units are upgrading, because you see when you upgrade units, it tanks your morale while those units upgrade. And what, 90%, there will be rebels that spawn here. In about roughly 0.7 years. Because there's 11.9 chance. By the way, the chances are exact, but the amount doesn't. That's not a guarantee. It's an estimate. Because it still is RNG based. So these could spawn next month. They could spawn next year. They could never spawn. At which point, unrest would eventually lower enough. I've seen it all. I had one that I had like 25% chance to spawn, and now the real question becomes, our truce with Aragon just ended. Question is, if we get ready to attack Aragon, we obviously need all of our units. Who will come to our aid? France will not. Why? France has a positive attitude towards the enemies. Okay, well, without France, we're not. Here come the. You can see they've spawned right on top of my units. So we're the defenders. And we won that easily. Okay, get on the boat. Come home. Yes, so the truth is, without France's help, we're not going to be able to beat Aragon, Naples, and their allies. And France will defend. France is at war with Brittany, Aragon, and why? Are you just at war, France? France and Siena. The Papal State must have attacked Siena. Attacker against Brittany in the French conquest of Natalis. Okay. This is the French. Oh, France attacked Brittany. And Brittany's allied with Aragon. So Aragon brought in its people. Aragon and, because look. Aragon, Navarra, Brittany is at war with France, and apparently Siena. But France didn't call us in for reasons. The AI must not have thought we would have joined. We would have joined. So, Bohemia, do you want to be friends? You do. We'll pick up Bohemia as a defensive alliance. And we've got spy network on. Fabricated claim here. Anyway, so what I'll be doing for the next little while is putting the maintenance down to 0. Because we have no, we need 0 men. So drop maintenance down to 0, mop all the forts, and focus on paying off this loan. Alright, that's been this video. I taught you about unit pips and upgrading units. And please rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.